Looks like Russian soldiers made a giant mistake in a possible staged assassination attempt. Now, oftentimes when it comes to the info wars, you'll have Russia, especially when they're engaged in any type of military conflict, stage all sorts of nonsense to make the other side look bad, including assassination attempts. And that looks like is what's going on in this story. But there was a breakdown in communication, okay? Turns out that there's a difference between SIM cards and Sims, which is a video game. So let me give you the details. So the Investigative Committee of the Russian Federation released a bizarre photo or photos Monday and announced that police had arrested 6 neo-Nazis plotting to kill a Russian television host, Vladimir Solovyov, in Moscow. Now, the plot to kill him with a car bomb, according to the FSB, was supposedly cooked up in coordination with the Ukrainian security services. So that's the accusation, that a prominent television host in Russia was the target of an assassination plot. And the Russians were super smart, super savvy, and they were able to foil this plot and arrest the individuals who were planning it. Now, the Russian Federal Police claimed to recover an improvised explosive device, 8 improvised incendiary devices of the Molotov cocktail type, 6 PM pistols, a sawn-off hunting rifle, an RGD-5 grenade, more than 1,000 cartridges of various calibers, drugs, and fake Ukrainian passports from the would-be assassins, as well as nationalist literature and paraphernalia. Now remember, one of the smears, one of the accusations is that Ukraine is just full of Nazis and Russians are the heroic ones who are coming out or coming in to essentially root out the Nazis from the country. We know that's propaganda and that's not really what the invasion is about. But they then shared a photo of the evidence. So let's put that photo up. Let's look closely. Because right there in the very middle, you'll see 3 like Sims games.
Such idiots.
No, it is, I love it so much. I love it so much. So what happened here? Well, it turns out that, here, let's go to this tweet because I think it just puts it perfectly. Guys, this isn't about LGBT or any other stuff. Somebody from the top most likely wrote 3 SIM cards and some genius obeyed, but obeyed in the wrong way and totally misinterpreted what they were asking for. But there's more. I'll get to it in a second. Cenk, what do you think?
Yeah, I can't resist. I'm gonna jump in. So look, this SIM card versus Sims the game is already a hilarious faux pas and gives away the entire setup, right? And remember, the Russians do a lot of this propaganda, gray zone. But this one was particularly hilarious because of the knucklehead that carried it out. So when you look at the rest of the picture, there's that Nazi shirt with the giant swastika, the red, it looks brand new. Like they just took it out of the wrapper and they're like, look at this T-shirt we found with the swastika on it. There's like a picture of Hitler that they put up on the guy's speaker. Like, I mean, it's so over the top. Like, oh, look at them. They are definitely Nazis. They like Adolf Hitler so much, they put up a picture of him. And they have this brand new swastika shirt. Oh my God, the Ukrainians are really problematic. But my favorite is graphic 5. And I'm gonna steal your thunder on this one because I love it so much, okay?
You're always stepping on my lines, Euger, but go ahead.
Okay. Another video distributed by Russian state news agency RIA showed an inscription in an unidentified book supposedly recovered in the arrest, signed in Russian with the words, signature illegible. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, that's the funniest thing that's ever happened. They told the idiot to make the signature illegible. He thought that he was supposed to sign it, literally signature illegible, that's what he signed. Oh my God, that's the dumbest spy in the world. I mean, did Aaron Mate do that card? That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
It's so good. I thought everyone knew Ron Burgundy will read everything in the teleprompter, okay?
Oh God, that was hilarious, okay? Of course, by the way, for the record, because people are about to catch feelings, we of course don't know who specifically did it. I'm kidding about the person who did it. But they actually did do this. It is obvious propaganda and the most botched propaganda I have ever seen in my life.
You know, Cenk, I am sick and tired of your McCarthyite smears on this program, of an award-winning journalist.
You know, I wonder if they ran it in Gray Zone, I don't know.
Would not be surprised, I wouldn't put it past them.
Okay, anyways, but look, now onto the very, very serious part of this, which is that we had Ilona Menkovsky on as a guest on the show earlier, and she wrote a really interesting piece in the New Republic about how her mom is in the Russian parliament. And when she talks to her, she gets the sense of how they are in their own bubble. And it's true. And it's because they cut off access to all other media that opposes Putin. So the only message, almost the only message that the Russians are hearing is Putin's propaganda. Since that's the only thing they're hearing, they're believing it. So you think in Russian media, they're gonna explain to them the signature illegible part? No, they're not gonna explain that. And so a lot of Russians genuinely believe that the Ukrainians are Nazis, even though their president is Jewish and his family was killed in the Holocaust by Nazis. But they don't know that, they never heard it. So as ham-handed as this propaganda was, it will work on some folks. And in fact, a lot of Russians, and it's not their fault, it's because they're not getting access to actual information.
And look, while these are the more like ridiculous examples of their propaganda and how the breakdown and miscommunication led to some pretty dopey mistakes. I just wish that people were a little more skeptical of the narratives coming out of Russian propaganda in regard to the war in Syria. Because remember, there were accusations that Syrians were chemical attacking themselves. And so, there was the chemical weapons attack that happened. It was a chlorine gas attack that happened in Duma. And the argument was that, it was actually the white helmets who did it, or it was a false flag. I mean, they changed the narrative depending on what day it is. But you can see the canister, the chlorine canister went through the roof of the building, which means it was dropped from the air, and only the Syrian army has an air force. But you would say that, and you would point to how ridiculous the propaganda was, and people were like, no, you gotta read the OPCW report. I did read the OPCW report. Did you read it? Or are you just going off of what other propagandists are saying the OPCW report says?
Yeah, Anna, look, it's actually a little heartbreaking because Russia did the same exact propaganda in Syria and Ukraine. It's not working in Ukraine because all the media is paying attention and catching things like this, and then publicizing it, at least in America, right? And in Europe, even if it doesn't make it to Russia. But in the case of Syria, people didn't care enough to double check. So they would do propaganda like you gave a perfect example. They would say, yeah, they wanted to attack themselves with chemical weapons, because that's the thing that people do. And that it was a false flag operation, but the bomb comes through the air, crashes through the roof. None of the rebels have an air force. It is impossible. It's a comical statement. It's over the top propaganda, but since no one cared about the Syrians, it actually took hold even here in America with people thinking, oh yeah, it was probably a false flag operation. The poor Russians, poor Bashar al-Assad. Can you believe they smeared them in this way? Those evil people who attacked themselves. And now you see it in Ukraine. You see that their playbook is identical. When the Ukraine was attacked, what did they do? They did videos, and including here in the US, some of the people that were mentioning, Gray Zone and Jimmy Dore, about how the Ukrainian civilians were doing war crimes against the poor Russian soldiers. And that the Ukrainians were attacking themselves and attacking their own hospital. Same exact propaganda playbook. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.